So now that I got all of my rugs glued, I'm gonna go ahead and start taking these rugs down. One thing you want to be careful of how close you put your rugs, because when you do your waterfalling effect, that area right there is going to be very important. And I did get these rugs kind of close, but it's all right. I'll be able to work with it, and I'll show y'all how this process is done. So when I cut my rugs out, you can use anything that cut. A lot of times I use scissors, but since this rug is so close, I'm gonna go ahead and use my razor and just go ahead and trim this rug out. Once you get your rug cut out, the next thing you want to do is get your backing for your rug. I had this fabric left over from a previous project, but it was enough to be able to cover this rug. Also, it is a non-slip backing, which will work great for any surface. So if you got wood floors, the rug won't slip, or tile. So I use that because I feel like it's a better quality. Right now, I'm preparing to get ready to do the waterfall effect on my rug. But before I get there, I need to go around each piece of this rug and cut out sections. That way I can fold the fabric over. You want to be careful around the edges, because when you get ready to fold and glue your fabric, it'll overlap. And I don't really like that because it makes the rug kind of bulky. So I just go in sections, cut out slits, and that way I'm preparing for my waterfall effect. Now that I have all of the slits cut into my fabric, I could go ahead and begin the waterfalling process. And that's simply adding hot glue to your tufting material and gently folding it over to the back of the rug. You don't have to go heavy with the hot glue because the carpet adhesive is still going to be a little sticky, so it'll help that fabric bond. You just want enough hot glue on there to make sure that it stays in place. This is the actual waterfalling process, and this took me a little while to master because I was folding the fabric too much, which caused my rug to roll. And once you sit it on a flat surface, it'll look kind of funny. So you don't want to pull it over too much. You just want to fold that fabric good enough to where it gets like a flush looking look. I'll show you an example. This is a good enough amount of hot glue to put to your fabric. Now, what I meant by folding, I want you to fold it just like that. You see how my carpet didn't turn, it didn't move? I just folded that fabric. This is what you don't want to do. If you pull that fabric too much, your rug is going to roll. You don't want that. It's going to give you an ugly roll. You just want to gently fold it over so your carpet can separate and your fabric is in place. The waterfalling process is kind of tedious, but on a design like this, it's not as bad. It's when you get more into complex designs that it's a lot more tedious, but for this, it's fairly easy. This is the spray adhesive I use to put on back of the rug and the back of my backing to make sure that my carpet is sturdy and in place. You want to make sure you're in a well ventilated area for this stuff because it does have a little stench to it, but that's just part of it. Right now I go in sections when I get ready to glue my rug down. I do not do the whole thing because I want to make sure I'm precise in laying the back of my rug on. So right now you can see that I'm smoothing everything out. However you feel to do it, you do it your way. I feel like this works best for me because I want the back of my rug to be smooth. I don't want it wrinkled. I don't want any lumps or bumps in it. I just take my time to make sure that I get everything spread it out evenly and that my rug has a quality product. Here's a little something I do to make sure that my rug is looking good and presentable and make sure that it's bonding. I just take my can of spray and I roll over that rug. If you can look at the difference of where I've rolled and where I didn't roll, you'll be able to see how better it looks or how good it looks, however you want to say it. But you can see the difference in what I'm doing with this can. I like to do that because I want to make sure that my rug is sturdy. Once again, I want to make sure that it has a quality to it. I don't want to just give anything to anyone that's not of quality. You can see how this looks already. And once I do this, I'll just let my rug sit for maybe 10 to 15 minutes until I get ready to trim that backing. But once I flip it over, bam, you can see that extra fabric. Once I get all this squared away, I'm gonna go back in and trim the rest of my rug. So my rug been sitting for about 15 minutes. Now I'm coming in to get ready to trim the edges of my rug to make sure that everything is flushed and looking neat. You want to take your time on this part of the process because this is going to give your rug its finish. Now you may have to come back in and tighten some things up, but overall, this is where you're almost done with backing your rug. You want to make sure that it looks good and presentable. And that's what I'm doing now. And this is a feeling of completion when you're almost finished. Here's the finished product. My rug is all cut out. I think that it looked good. The backing is on. Everything is, is looking right and looking nice. And, you take pride in what you do. So I just wanted to show you guys how to complete a rug. Now I got to go on to the trimming process.